And we're live.
Hey gamers, happy holidays.
Happy post Christmas.
You're not allowed to say the word Christmas. You're appropriating my religion, I'll have you know.
Religion isn't real.
I think Christmas we should just celebrate. I think we should just call it John Miss. We'll celebrate
You
Mr. 117.
you want forgiveness? Get religion. All right. So,
Or
what
you
did
can just
you
return to monkey.
Pogging in the snow? What a great title.
Fogging in the snow. I hate it here.
I just came up with that on the spot.
This is such a Twitch like title.
It is.
It actually did snow this Christmas though. And wait, before we get into all that, welcome to the Moonlight show. This week we don't actually have much, but there's new Linux VR developments.
Yep.
Holidays are miserable for tech support, and CES is dying.
Yeah. I'm frozen for some reason.
Imagine being frozen.
Yeah, okay, that fixed that. All right.
You should have gone for the head. No, I'm kidding.
My
And
back.
then game just dies.
My back. All right, so I guess we'll start with the holidays. How was your holiday?
Okay, there's a bit of a tangent I have to go on here. Ever since, well, okay, not even ever since COVID, even last year, it felt more like holiday season than this year. I don't know, like it's not even just being stuck inside. It's like everything feels super normal during these holiday times. I don't know.
Sorry, I can't hear you through my AirPods.
Tell your AirPods to stop monkeying around.
Yeah, no. I mean, I kind of get that, but also Christmas has always just been free gifts.
Gold digger.
I kind of am. I would totally go for the richest, hottest woman out there.
Wait, so me? I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding.
No. But what gifts did you get?
Mostly just gift card stuff. One thing that I do want to go into is that it's so hard to tell like people what you want for Christmas if you're a techie.
I mean,
Like, you tell them you want clothes, they're like, okay, I know they wear, joggers or they wear jackets and they wear scarves. I can just buy them those. But you tell them you want like something like a hard drive, they're like, what the fuck's a hard drive? And I'm like, I don't know how to explain this to you. It stores things.
yeah, for me, I just give them the link to the Amazon.
Well, yeah, but then see, me and you are fundamentally different on this level. I simply I just hate asking for things.
Oh no, I still do. It's just that I eventually get around to asking them anyway. I feel less guilty if I ask my friends than my parents.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh. I don't know. I just don't like asking for anything in general.
Yeah, by the way, thank you for the RAM and SSD. Arigatou gozaimasu.
I would use a profane gesture, but we're on YouTube, so.
Hey, you made a bet. This was on you. All on you. All right.
Like, how are you supposed to tell someone I want the Xenoblade 2 art book, which is also still being on sale, so I'm actually really happy
Just
about that.
give them the
But,
link.
I know, but like, what do your parents think when they see two anime waifus on
They're
their
gonna see it either way. So either you get it or you don't.
I think it's even funnier because anytime I ever mention like or anytime I ever have like a wallpaper of like Kasumi or whatever, every single time like my parents see it, they're like they're really pretty. I'm like, yeah, I know. I have good choice in hot anime waifu. God, I hate it here.
Yeah, hang on. We need to promote your
It's not even that. Promotion. Can you do that for me actually? I'm too lazy to look at my phone.
Lazy ass.
More importantly, why is it still using the channel banner as the
That's what happens when you use default restream.
Well, now you know.
Who didn't know this?
No, I've never used default restream before. Also, I didn't have an issue with it yesterday, so or not yesterday, the last week.
Did you misspell Pog?
I specifically used 1G because POG is supposed to be an acronym. So like,
Well, you see, I would think like 2Gs. Whatever, doesn't matter.
see, I thought that that's what I did. You not hear me asking? Do I spell pogging with
I
two G's
didn't
or
hear
not?
this. I did not hear this.
Technically, POG is like an acronym, so it's like play of the game. So like, would you just use 1G if you say poggers or pogging, or do you use two?
You used to. Anyway,
This isn't even a grammatical thing. Both of them are technically correct,
yeah.
except it's less. What's the word I'm looking for? It's less complicated than GIF or GIF, so
Yeah,
whatever.
for me,
Less
yeah,
controversial.
getting gifts has never been too hard. I just ask them, and I usually just get a yes or no. I'd say like if it was in the middle of the year, I'd be a little bit more nervous to say anything or ask for anything. But stuff like Christmas, I go ham. I go as far as I possibly can, just to see what my limits are. Like, what's the line?
See, I don't like pushing my limits. I just like saying, okay, that would be like that's what I'm worried about. I don't know what my limits are. I'm just like, okay, do I ask for this? Probably not.
Well, you see, it's never about my limits. It's their limits.
Exactly. That's the issue. I mean, I don't like pushing I don't know I don't know what their limits are. I know my parents have like 5 different children to give gifts to, so
Yeah, well, I'm an only child, so maybe that's just an only child thing.
maybe it's a spoiled brat thing.
I kind of am,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm grateful for that. But
Guys,
yeah, no, I do feel kind of weird every time I get a gift card.
I think gift
Which
cards are just like the I okay. Ugh, you can go on, go on.
All right. The thing with gift cards for me is that like I appreciate them and I do typically use them. It's just as long as it's not some jank. Like okay,
You don't
the
want an
mi-
Olive Garden gift card?
I was gonna mention like if I get an Olive Garden gift card, I genuinely don't know how to feel about that. Because like if I get a Steam gift card, I can get down to the exact amount to use it fully. But something like Olive Garden,
You're gonna go in there and be like, "Can I use this 25 cents left on my Olive Garden gift card?"
exactly, and that just feels wrong, you know?
Because like with like a digital storefront, you don't have to talk to anyone about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got a gift card from Cameron. Did you get one?
I did as well. Yes.
Yeah, he gave us a $20
That's the
gift
right
card.
thing on the card, anyways.
Yeah, did you use it yet?
I used it mostly to find games for me, Cameron, Aiden. I would say you, but also it's fucking rounds. I don't expect you to play rounds.
Yeah, I did get myself Pavlov VR. I bought FNAF Help Wanted, and then I realized I don't think this is for me, so I refunded it, and then I got Fighters.
I've never played a FNAF game, so I don't know.
I
I
feel
don't think
like
I ever will. I'm not like I was never the target audience, nor am I a.
the main thing with FNAF is it's all about audio and visual cues, and I don't know how you do with the visual part. And also VR, I don't know what it is, but everything in VR is so much harder to deal with because first of all, I have like massive phantom sense when I'm playing in
Me too.
VR.
Yeah.
So the panic of seeing animatronics just actually coming closer to me and they're like towering over me.
Why do I hear boss music?
Exactly. And also there's some jank stuff like I was playing FNAF 2 VR and I was really struggling putting on the mask or taking it off. I'm like, stop putting it on because I always had it in one of my hand. Like I just have it on my hand while I'm scrolling through everything. I'm just like, because I played FNAF 2 the most since I was a wee bappy. And it's actually a fun game. It's all about, or it's fun to get into the rhythm of it, you know? At least for FNAF 2.
He really was a FNAF slash Undertale kid.
I really was, and then I kind of grew out of it. I still respect those franchises. It's just I don't follow them as much. Although I do typically avoid FNAF more than Undertale. I feel like actually no, it's the other way around. I avoid
Really? I expect the
Undertale.
FNAF community to somehow be even more toxic.
To be honest, I don't even know what the FNAF community is up to besides making furry art.
As I'd say, yeah. I
Because
mean, you
most
fit
of the
right in,
yeah, no, most FNAF people are furries, so
but I think Pokemon's just more optimal.
it is. That's why I like Pokemon more. Silly. I don't even like FNAF that much. I've never beaten a FNAF game. It's just I don't know. I just follow the lore just for brain dead. You know, I just watch a few MatPat
Dude,
videos.
of course, there's more FNAF lore that I. Okay, what I thought it was haha funny animatronics are in Chuck E. Cheese, but no, what have I missed?
A lot.
Here we are.
Can't wait for you to learn about the man behind the slaughter.
The man behind the what now?
God, no, it's all Tumblr shit. um,
Dude, hey, look, I can finally get the wife angle you always wanted me to have. That sounds way out of context if you don't know who wife is.
yeah,
Anyways,
yeah, but gift cards, I it's all right. Just if you're gonna give me anything, give me like an Amazon gift card.
I think gift cards are the funniest thing because like, why would I give you actual money when I could limit your spending options?
In some ways, that could be a cool thing, like an eShop gift card, because it feels like, oh, that's nice. But when you get like,
Yeah, but on the other
okay,
hand, I
but the
feel obligated to buy stuff on my Nintendo
gift
Switch, which I
cards,
don't use for anything but Xenoblade, Fire Emblem, and Smash.
yeah, gift cards for video games just feel like it was meant to be sometimes. But the gift cards I despise are fucking restaurant ones. I've seen so many Domino's like gift cards lately. I don't know what it is.
People actually buy? Do people actually like buy gift restaurant gift cards for people?
Here's a $15 Burger King gift card. Waiting for the Starbucks gift card, people. Okay, Starbucks, I can.
Actually, no, yeah, no, give me a Starbucks gift card, please. I want it.
Yeah, no, I actually can see a lot of people getting that, but like a McDonald's, Burger King, Domino, pizza.
I noticed that a lot of time while this is completely random, but a lot of time while I'm streaming, I squint my eyes a little more. That's weird. Anyways,
Yeah, I'm totally not just squinting. Just I'm just seeing if I do it myself. Shopping for a.
because I tense up a little more. I don't know.
I will say though, shopping for a techie is difficult if you don't know what they
Yeah.
want. Thankfully, I usually know what I want, so I let everyone know what I want. But I've never bought a techie a gift, you know?
Yeah.
So I can't
I can't believe
really.
you didn't buy me the audio file SSD. I'm offended.
Did you just say audiophile SSD?
You haven't seen that?
No, what?
Let's take a detour for a bit. Okay, so I don't know the specifics simply because I'm not too knowledgeable in terms of like storage whenever it comes to like NAND flash and stuff like that. But apparently there's a company making an SSD very specifically for audio files to make your music sound the most high quality.
I don't get it. It's not like these files compress when you're in the SSD.
You have to do more research into it yourself. I genuinely have no idea. It might be because of like the way that like
maybe it has better file support. I don't know.
Except every SSD can support any file type.
Yeah,
So.
I don't fucking know. It's like sound cards in 2021. You know why? Why?
Unless you're like particularly powering anything like huge. Why?
Yeah, but it's just okay. Buying an audiophile stuff is actually a lot easier. Like, okay, yeah, no, like just give them decently good. Just give them IEMs. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah,
Or
but okay, imagine
give them foam
depends on what kind
tips.
of audio file you're dealing with and who you are. If you're us, if you're dealing with like the average like I'd say consumer audio file, then yeah, that's easy. But if you're dealing with someone who's like, I need nothing but the best, and if you don't agree with how I think audio sounds, then you're clearly wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's certain things like you can always buy those type of audio files that
I'll
aren't
just
too
buy them
expensive.
tape so I don't have to hear their voices while they scream. Oh my god,
I'd
these headphones don't sound good enough.
I'd probably buy them foam tips or something. Or I'd at least try to understand what type of headphones or earbuds or speakers that they use.
Mm,
I'd probably get them like the fucking foam, wall foam shit. I forgot what they're called already.
the acoustic foam.
Yeah, acoustic foam. I'd probably buy them that. You know, it's
Mm,
always something that you can't not have too many of those. You know.
mhm. I forgot. Didn't I say I was gonna go Christmas shopping with you guys? Maybe if I still have some time, I'll look through some more stuff.
Yeah. But a gamer, that's actually really easy. Just give them the cat razor headphones. They'll love it.
God, you're brilliant.
Yeah, a mouse pad, keyboard keycaps even? Like if they have a good keyboard,
Yeah,
that is.
or if they have a good keyboard that you can swap keycaps on, that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, cleaning stuff. Maybe if you can go
Some
pretty,
deodorant.
you can also just buy them a G502 Hero. They're not that expensive.
I wish I could show my mouse. Apparently, even my cousin uses a G502 Hero, and so like, yeah, I knew it
Yeah,
was a popular mouse. I didn't know it was
a
that popular mouse.
yeah, a USB hub. That's always like something that you can't have too much of.
Mm.
Um, like zip ties even like they're okay. Maybe that's a little lame. That's like a good supplement gift.
I think that's a good stocking stuffer. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you know.
throw it in their stocking, be like, yeah, you need some cable management, kid.
Yeah, like there's a lot that you can do that works with most people no matter what. And also it if you're getting a Nintendo game or something, like just give them an eShop card or
Yeah,
something.
I think the main issue is you got to take this into perspective of like
It all depends how
a
much you know the
parent.
person. A parent. Yeah, I feel like for us since we're so well versed in basically anything as of now, like until we become boomers ourselves, we're able to
I'm never gonna let that happen. I will make a promise that if I ever get out of touch, I'm gonna go into cryo or something. I'm just gonna stop.
yeah, I'm gonna also try not to go out of touch.
I don't want to be that 50-year-old man who was like, back in my day, we actually had to move around to be in VR.
I'd be like, yo, I don't have to move anymore. This shit's cool.
I know, right?
I totally would be that guy who says, I'm 80 years old in the YouTube comment section.
Please don't let me die with Alzheimer's. I have one
God.
request. Well, actually, okay, not even one request. Just I I guess one request. If I don't want to like if I grow old, I don't want to be not in my right mind.
I feel like yeah, I would die of old age. I feel like that, or I die of health issues,
Mm.
or that, or a car accident.
Mm.
What's
Why do you all want to die in car accidents? I swear.
well, at
What's
least in a
specific?
at least with a car accident, I have a 10% chance to be isekai.
This has gotten way. Or you could go the Tony Kawa route and actually like gain a wife or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Why did this get so dark so quickly? Anyway,
but main thing with parents, I'm gonna be real. Just tell them what you want. You're gonna at worst they'll say no.
yeah. Well, there's that, but like it's just sometimes the things you need are so expensive. Well,
Yeah.
expensive relative to like what you think.
Whatever. This is why we need holiday gift guides again. We need them
I
back
know,
so I
right?
can circle them in giant
Do
red
you have a
circles.
PC gamer child who you're trying to shop for, but they don't want to tell you what they need? Use this PC gamer gift guide.
Yeah. Thankfully, I feel like I would generally know what my if I ever have kids somehow. I don't know if I'd. God,
When you buy your
can't.
when you
Would
buy
I?
your kids a hard drive back or all the way in 29 or I guess it'd be like 2050 maybe.
I've always having children would be just. I feel like I would hate the first few years, but once they become like
Here's your
somewhat sentient,
14 petabyte hard drive.
I'm gonna totally make them a melee player. That's- But just in general, I just feel like if your parents
You
don't
know
know
what I
what
mean?
you want,
I
you're
sure.
God. Even the gifts my parents get for me that I don't really ask for, I still enjoy.
Mhm.
I got a
Yeah,
MagSafe charger, and I'm like, ooh, I could totally use this.
that's like why half the time I'm like, if you're gonna ask me what gift I want, just buy me what you'd think I'd like, and that's perfectly fine.
Hmm. Yeah, anyway, let's get the hell out of holidays and talk about some downer stuff, like how Steam is banned in China.
Damn it! I wanted to talk about the stupid being tech support during holidays. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, okay. Well, let's go back to that. I actually didn't read that one.
Hmm.
Holiday is the worst time for family tech support.
God. Have you ever had that time where they're like, or I guess, well, maybe for you it's not that bad since your dad seems to be well versed in like tech. But I am so tired of going downstairs and people asking me, why is the Chromecast not working for the 15
Okay,
billionth time?
I'm
While
a
I'm like, I have no idea why.
I'm gonna be real. Um, my my dad. How do I describe him? It feels like he knows a decent amount, but there's so much he just doesn't understand, and it gets me every time because I'd expect a little bit more from him. He calls. Okay, here's the thing. Another thing, he misnames everything. Like he calls the 3DS DS3. He keeps calling.
Understandable, actually.
He calls Freddy like Five Nights at Freddy's. That the Friday game. And I'm like,
Friday night pumpkin game? No, I'm
Friday.
kidding, I'm kidding.
It's like, is that Friday? And I'm like, Dad, it's been 5 fucking years. I've
It's been
I've
5
I've
goddamn
corrected you every single time, and you're still calling it Friday? And I'm
I'm just
pretty.
saying, I'd play a game called Friday.
Also, he keeps calling tutorial, which understandable. I kind of understand that, but like
Wait, calls what now? What is it?
Toriel, you know Toriel, right?
No.
Okay, we're gonna have to make this man play Undertale.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. My brain didn't process that for a sec.
Yeah, tutorial.
God.
I
Yeah, blowing
get it. That's
blowing
what.
my memories of Undertale out of my mind.
Yeah, I mean Undertale's a good game. It's just
Yeah, it's just mm. We're not gonna talk
I
about
kind of stopped at
stuff.
Sans. I could have beaten Sans. It's just I didn't feel like it. You know.
I swear I could have beaten him. I had too many things to do.
Honestly, yeah. And also after that, I kind of went on a depression streak.
All I see around me are goddamn Sans plushes. I swear.
Yeah, but I usually do family tech support, but the funny thing is I've never had a something I was struggled at or annoyed by, I guess. Maybe it's because I have
Like, it's not something that I struggle at. It's just something like I sometimes there are like things like I legitimately don't know the issue to. Like for example, Disney Plus for some reason not showing the Chromecast button. Sometimes I have legitimately no idea why that happens. It just does.
yeah, for me, I don't know. Remember that one issue with the monitor my mom had?
Hmm.
Yeah, and I forgot how I fixed it, but I did. I think I just removed the HDMI cable and replugged it in.
I was about to say, did you try turning it off and on again?
Yeah, no. And apparently that just no wait, no, I remember what I did now. I
It's all
lowered
coming back to me.
so I went to the PC settings, which for some reason it didn't let me access last time. After reset it did. I lowered the resolution of that monitor and then I reset it back to 1080p. That just kind of fixed it.
Mm.
Um, and it's just like it's a lot of those issues I have. In general, I've never really been asked about for tech support. It's more so just like, hey, Dave, can you like cable man? It's never tech issues. It's more like help me set up stuff.
Yeah.
Also, installing a microwave is a bitch ass motherfucker thing to do. Like if you're getting a microwave, just get one of those that just stay on the table, not the ones that hang on the ceiling. Because Jesus Christ, those are a pain in the ass to install. Mm.
Beep, beep, beep. Your hot pocket is done.
God. But yeah, no. Family tech support. I usually enjoy doing it because I'm gonna be real. I have nothing to do a lot of the
Yeah.
time.
It's
I'm
just
just
really annoying after the third time of hearing the exact same problem. I'm just like,
I noticed this like disconnect I have with other people where a lot of people lately have been just kind of enjoying being by themselves for a bit. It's kind of zoning out. But
me,
for me,
obviously.
but for me lately I've just been finding myself zoning out a lot more. And then I just get depressed afterwards and I'm like I need to interact with friends, but they're having their own zone out moments or they're always busy. So it's just like I just feel like I have too much free time, but also I enjoy my free time. It's just this weird
Yeah.
back and forth thing.
I constantly just continue to have existential crises back after back. In fact, there's one in the back of my head right now. You see it? You see it? No.
With existential crisis, I don't know. I,
Crises.
I stopped having them for a while. I think it's because I've just learned to accept my existence as a human being.
Okay, for the record, I use the term existential crisis simply because I find it funny. I wouldn't say existential is like the proper term for the crises I have, but like
Mood swing.
not even just mood swings, just today is not my day,
You
which I've
just
been
need
saying for the past week now. That's beside the point.
you just need some of that serotonin.
Sir, are you eating?
Mm-hmm. Eating M&M, baby.
I wish I could reach down to get candy, but that's kind of a lot of work.
You have
Yeah,
Skittles
one
in
of the
front of
nicest
you.
things is that. Yeah, I ate the Skittles. They were good.
Did you eat all of them? It wasn't.
Hmm.
Damn, that was fast.
For the
Steam.
record, they were mostly empty.
Okay, Steam is banned in China. I have no idea the context behind this, but it does make sense because China does that. How do you feel?
It's just I haven't really done much research into it, so I don't know if it's actually just like the US branch of Steam because I know Steam had its own China version of the app, which I believe is like Red or whatever. I don't know if they banned that version. I assume not, since it's supposed to be China friendly. But from what I understand, the US version of Steam has always been available in China. It's just that it was in this weird gray area almost. But yeah, apparently they were just like, no, no, Steam bad for children productivity.
Have you ever seen the Chinese version of Terraria?
I have not. What does it censor?
Mostly the gore aspects. They censored the Eye of
Actually,
Cthulhu and Wall of Flesh, for example.
hmm.
Skeletron. A lot of the bosses actually changed. Brain of Cthulhu is like a jellyfish now.
Dude, have you seen my brain? Look at it. It's massive. I think I can't even remember. I lost my train of thought. I lost my truck of thought.
But in general, it's China, alright.
Yeah. It's been weird because in the past year they've been cracking down on video games like a lot. Like children not being able to play games for like I think they were only allowed to play for like how long during weekends or whatever.
Like 3 hours. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around there. But they've been really cracking down on video games recently. I wonder why that is.
Well,
I
video
guess it
games
does
also
decrease productivity technically, but there's
also
also the fact that sorry.
well, let's just say that a lot of video games lately also tend to
Allow
spread
social
ideas.
experiences.
No, not just that. I'm talking about the fact that a lot of them spread the idea of other things that China may not approve of.
Yeah. And also
The
allow social experiences.
yeah, no.
Anyways,
It's
we're
just
not here to take a stance on that. It's just something that
yeah.
exists.
China, yeah, it's like I've went to China once. Well, it's Hong Kong, but I still yeah, I've been there once.
Yeah.
I hated every aspect of it. Like there was nothing I liked there. Absolutely nothing. I hated every minute being there.
I can
Like
never make a.
the main thing with China or Hong Kong more specifically is
Mhm.
that God, you cannot sit down.
Yeah, that checks
Um,
out.
there's no like regular chairs or seats or anything. And
Mhm.
the fact that my parents want to like, oh, let's explore this, let's go here and there. There's a lot of moments where I would have to stand up like 6, 7
I've
hours
been
at a time.
standing for 15 years.
Yeah, and that caused me to have like a massive blood clot on my feet.
Mhm.
So, and that okay, there's some really like you stuff I'm about to mention where
Taking off the headphones.
yeah, so basically when I went to Korea afterwards, which I got super sick for like 3 days
Mhm.
straight. And then I threw up so hard that my throat actually got damaged for a while.
Ugh.
But the main thing was my grandma had this thing where it had a needle and it went directly on like one area of my toe.
Mhm.
They went through several of them. I don't know why. I
I'm
hated
not
it.
hurting. You're hurting.
It was just very uncomfortable, and it was like check for like blood or whatever, and like it was really black, so I had
Ugh.
like serious. I had some issues, and then
He,
I went,
he's 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 part of the Black Doom from Shadow the Hedgehog.
to a doctor, and they just said, "Oh, you're just high on cholesterol."
No, Did you take the great flavored medicine?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It was no. I took a blood test.
Yeah, I know.
Which,
I'm just
speaking of which,
messing around. But
Korea does blood tests so much faster than the US. In the US, they take like 5 minutes. In Korea, it's like 3 seconds. They just put it in,
actually,
suck the blood out, and then
this gives me a good time to talk about something that I totally forgot to add in the doc. But there are downsides to every country, and I don't know why people don't understand that. Like, if you visit a country, you'll notice there are things you don't like and things you do like, obviously. But anytime you say you don't like something about a country or like a specific thing that you do, like for example, saying well, except for if you're in the US, because we all understand that. Haha. Anyways, no, that's beside the point. But people forget that there's downsides to every place you go to, whether you like it or not.
yeah, fuck it. Let's just go to Mars. The only downside is nobody's there.
I think that's an upside for me. Actually, no, bad internet connection. Hmm.
Yeah, main
Won't be
thing.
as bad as Australia.
True. Yeah, there's downsides to every place. It's just that like I don't know. I don't
I feel like a
like.
lot of people are afraid to mention it.
There's some things in Europe I don't like.
I haven't like traveled much. I just know for
Things
a fact,
apparently things
obviously,
are more
no country is
expensive
perfect.
there. Things are more expensive there. Um. Apparently the food there sucks.
Yeah, all
Except
I can
like
say is the
France
the
or
Xenoblade
something.
localization team was pretty cool. So
I don't know. Korea. There's definitely issues in Korea. I feel
yeah.
like there's a almost a space issue. I feel like,
Which, by the way, the entire planet is suffering. But that's beside the point.
but it's weird because it feels like it should be more crowded than it is, but it's
Mhm.
not because I'm noticing a lot of areas where it's like it's never crowded in Korea, despite the fact that I feel like we have a generally high population. And the fact that everyone lives in apartments also. There's like
Mhm.
you'd be
It's
hard
not
pressed
that.
to
Yeah,
find
Korea's not
anyone
that
living in a
huge.
regular
So
house. Nobody lives in a regular house in Korea unless you're very rich or from an outside country, which is usually what people do. They like make a lot of money in other countries and then they move to Korea or some other country and retire there. Um, Korea is somewhat cheap to live in. How much does an apartment in Korea cost?
I would ask Bixby, but Bixby's useless. Also, please don't wake up. Stop
Yeah,
it.
I do
Don't even think
know
about it.
like basically with Korea everywhere but Seoul is cheap. So I need to
Hmm.
let me check. Uh let's say Incheon, which is basically like smaller Seoul. It's like the Bellevue to the Seattle.
The Bellevue to the Seattle. Actually, that's a funny comparison.
Let's see. Rentberry. Yeah, the only issue is that they're usually all like one bedroom apartments, but even then, a one bedroom apartment being $180 per month.
That's actually not that bad.
It's insane. But also the average Korean makes significantly less than the average American. It's about
Yeah, that checks out.
$25,000 a year, which is
Actually, what is the salary for the average American? I don't actually know that.
I do know the yearly salary is about 55,000.
Really?
It could be higher.
I guess because a lot of
This is
people.
this is information I know purely because like from like 2017ish, so I could be
Mm.
off from inflation all that jazz.
Yo, inflation. Actually,
But
never mind. I'm not gonna say that.
55,000 is like the general average. Do you know how much your parents make a year?
Uh, I don't know how to math.
Is it less than that?
Probably.
Yeah, mine is definitely higher. My mom earns 55. My dad earns like 80 to 90ish.
Well, yeah. We aren't exactly the most high class of citizens, nor are we the lowest class. But
Yeah. Well, I'd say I'm like higher than some other
I think you're
places.
higher mid class, arguably.
Yeah, I like to call myself
You're
high
also
mid tier.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure that's what
Um,
you'd like to call Corin too. In
hmm.
which I'd say you you probably aren't wrong.
Yeah, I mean the thing is like okay, this is just my observations just by looking at other people that live in this area. Um,
How do we get to talk about Korea's salary?
we talked about apartments
Hmm.
and like oh yeah, downsides to countries. But I'm trying to think about a downside with Korea besides the fact that it's capitalist hell. Like
Can't believe you're part of. I can't believe you're part of that capitalist regime.
I wonder I do think there's the homeless rate's like way less
Mm-hmm.
than America. Hang on. Because I
Obviously,
don't
there are also downsides to like living there as opposed to visiting as well. So
Okay, yeah, no. There's like 2 in 10,000 people usually homeless. So that's actually really is that low? What's the population of Korea?
so yeah, what is the population density of Korea?
Be funny if it was less than New York. Okay, never mind. It's 51.78 million.
I can't count that high. Someone help.
Well, all I'll say is
10.
it's either
Hmm.
I don't know. I've never seen a homeless person ever in Korea. But maybe they're just in a different but also I haven't explored every part of Korea. I've mostly just seen the
Hmm.
major I've mostly been in major cities and some like down what do you call those areas? The poor areas? I don't know what you call them. The non-major cities. I'm sounding super
God.
I'm I feel I sound super elitist and I'm not trying to be.
Yeah. By the way, can someone please find me like
The rural
living
areas, sorry. I
I was gonna
just
say
couldn't.
yeah. I was gonna say rural, but I did rural. I can't English. Rural, but I didn't want to be wrong, and I didn't want to sound as elitist as you do, so I
Yeah.
was just gonna stay silent.
Because for example, my grandma's sister, I don't know what you call that. other than grandma
Like,
sister, I guess grand aunt.
your great aunt, yeah.
Yeah, great aunt. Um, I've s- she definitely lives in a very rural area, which is right next. That's right next to a decently sized city. It's an interesting area. I do like the marketplaces though in those areas because the fruit there is always pretty good.
Mhm.
Also, the grandmas there are super nice to me. They always say
Insert
like, "Oh, you're
joke
so
about K-pop in
handsome."
Korea here.
K-pop in Korea. Oh, I guess that would be a downside. But I guess
I guess that would be a downside.
yeah.
You
But
heard it here first.
I guess the main downside of Korea is like
There are probably more as you start like living there that you'd notice. It's just
yeah,
every country has its downside. Even like
yeah.
a lot of
There's
times you don't
nothing
notice
that
them while visiting a
isn't
country versus living there. So
yeah, there's nothing specifically about Korea that's very much notably worse besides the suicide rates. Oh,
let's see.
I guess that's
I was gonna say, are we gonna talk about that? But I realized it's probably a sensitive topic.
yeah, now I remember. College. Very stressful for a lot of kids.
I'd rather not stray into that area just in case.
Well, I'm not gonna talk about the S word, but just in
I mean,
general.
shit is perfectly fine to say, probably.
Okay, okay, anyway. I don't know what Korea school is like, despite the fact
But from what I've read and heard, yeah, yeah.
it's a very, very competitive environment, which is why you actually see so many Asian people here. That's-
You doctor.
Like, okay, Scarf, tell me, how many Asians do you see at UW?
I'm very impaired. I don't know.
Okay, well, let's just say a lot. Like, you'd see a lot of Korean people
Yeah,
in our
yeah.
area.
I've been to UW once or so, and I've seen a lot of like Asian people walking around.
Yeah.
As far as I'm,
First of all, like, there's a few reasons for that. Like, especially since Seattle used to be
yes,
kind of a big place for Asian people. We all know why. I hope. Learn history, folks.
learn ninth grade history. Actually, is it ninth grade? I don't know. Ninth grade history. I
Yeah.
did human geography. So
But just in general, what people usually do is a lot of Korean people move over here to get education. And then depending on what they do, they either go back to Korea after they graduate,
my skin tone looks really low.
which
Sorry, that's
which
bothering me.
I think is more valuable than a Korean college degree because it's like, oh, you got a foreign one in the US of A, like a bigger
I can't
country.
believe you probably don't even speak English.
Yeah, it's just like it's more valuable, I can imagine, going back and forth. At least that's what I've seen my cousin do who moved here. It's just it's very interesting seeing that dynamic of like moving to a different country just so you have a better chance at life at the one you normally live at.
I mean, we're the land of the free, am I right? Anyways, when can we move to Canada?
Also, I'm not gonna lie, American schools here are super lax in comparison to
Yeah.
like people complain about the workload, which understandable. I don't know your situation. It's probably super stressful,
Mm.
but I feel like it is arguably worse with the workload specifically from school, nothing from outside, but specifically from school, work-wise. That's the assignments given from those schools.
I do think though that it also has a little to do with the fact that a lot of countries' schools have been, consistently stressful. Whereas a lot of the time, I feel like in a lot of like public schools and stuff like that, you don't exactly learn studying habits, which, yeah, I've kind of faced the consequences.
Yeah. I mean, we can go over why special like gifted kids, quote unquote, are very much special needs.
Yeah. Go on.
Okay, well, this is just based off something I heard, and then after I heard it, it all makes sense to me.
It all makes sense now.
But basically, like, if you're considered gifted, like you always get good grades, you just so happen to magically just be able to do stuff and understand things instantly. You don't necessarily gain the habits of studying that a lot of other kids would have by now. And then once you get to, I don't know, say like middle or high school, you're gonna have to start actually putting those into practice because no matter how gifted you are, unless you have
Okay, no,
extensive knowledge.
bull, yeah, absolute bull. I'm sorry, but everything up till like maybe I don't know, 10th grade AP is definitely not something I'd consider study material unless I can actually
Exactly.
study
You know,
for it. But
you never have the need to study for it. But after
mm,
you get to that certain threshold, it becomes very overwhelming because
mm,
those like getting into the habit of it is very unnatural.
yeah. There's also a whole bunch of different like factors like motivation. A lot of the times when you are considered gifted at stuff, you
And
don't
then you
have as much
fail,
motivation
you
to
don't
put
live up
forth.
to those expectations, and then it demotivates you, and it's like you're not living up
And
to.
then you're even less motivated than you were, which is already less motivated than you should be. And now you just feel super depressed, and then you go nowhere with your life. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just it's rough, man.
It's that actually does lead into a bigger thing of like degrees equals discoverability and stuff like that.
I've
But
never been considered a gifted kid. I think I was always slightly under average. Um,
snicker, snicker. Imagine being under average. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
yeah. I mean, after a certain point, I started being fairly alright. I usually typically get good grades in A's and B's. It's just I never particularly excel in anything academically.
Mhm. I'm really good at math. I'd like to think. Well, anything with numbers. I can't do geometry for reasons
But
I will not
also,
talk about. But
I I do typically impress a lot of people really easily for some reason. Like I just say like, "Oh, look at this thing that I didn't really think much of," and then they're like, "Oh my God, you're so amazing at this," and I'm like,
I don't think it's more of a oh my god, you're so amazing at this, and more of a I just never really like thought about it until you mentioned it.
"Yeah." But just in general, I feel like I've never really been praised for being gifted, but I've been praised for things I don't really consider that I'm gifted at. Like a lot of people tell me I'm like weirdly talented with the violin. And I'm like,
Mm,
well, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm talented, but I'm definitely experienced with the violin.
mhm.
I know how to do most
Uh,
things.
mhm. In terms of my intelligence, I personally say I'm balanced as all things should be in quotes. In more of like a sense of not being like too good at a lot of things, just being having a decent understanding of I'd say all three categories of intelligence.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm definitely not balanced with my intelligence. I feel like I am all one stats, bad at everything else.
What are you, what are your growth rates?
What are my growth rates? Like I'd say whenever it comes to like a video game I'm fairly passionate about. I'd say I'm fairly knowledgeable or more knowledgeable than most people. I definitely know my share of Nintendo history more than the average Nintendo gamer. I feel like
More
the
than the
only
average, more than the average. Did you know gamer watcher?
exactly. I actually it's fun. It's good when you know more than the average did you know gamer viewer.
Yeah.
Uh, and just in general, like the only person that I've seen that matched my knowledge is actually Scarf himself.
You fool.
Yeah, and also like just in general, Scarf used to be able to keep up with news a lot more than I do because I usually don't keep up with
Mhm.
stuff. But lately, after Moonlight, I think I kept up
I
with
think I
more.
I think it's been having the opposite effect on both of us because now I'm like hearing about some of these things for the first time and I'm just like, okay, I haven't been keeping up whatsoever.
What the hell? What's going on? What the hell is a 2050?
Exactly. What the fuck's a 2050? Is someone going to tell me?
Yeah, but I don't- I never really measured my intelligence. I think
I think
I
measuring your intelligence is kind of cringe, but
yeah. Also, but I do notice that if I'm doing something, whether it's a puzzle or a video game, I do usually rush into it thinking that I'm right. Okay, let's say I'm doing like a
What do you
lot
call
of
that?
math
What do they
problems.
call that? The curve of something or other. But yeah.
Yeah, like say I'm going through a math problem. I get every aspect of it right except one problem. The only reason I didn't see that one problem, like one tiny aspect, was because I didn't look back at it because I was rushing through.
Mhm.
That's basically what it is. Like I understand the material. I usually do pretty well with it. It's just that like every now and then I just miss something super minor.
I feel like math for me is something that I've never really had to study in particular, simply because
Oh no, I given up with
things
learning
just
math.
things just process for me. Like whenever it comes to equations and stuff like that, it kind of just I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense. I don't know why it makes perfect sense, and I know why it like okay, I don't know why it makes perfect sense to me, but it does.
I'd say that's usually the case for me. It depends. There's certain aspects where I have to really think about like how why does this happen to okay, it depends on how they teach me. You remember
Mhm.
that one teacher that I showed like video recordings of? That was a good teacher. Like holy shit, he knew how to teach students.
Yeah. I think one thing that's very much so neglected in terms of like teaching and how that works is I feel like a lot of the time teachers focus more on the material rather than building something that students actually want to learn, like
I'm
to understand.
I'm a rant here about teaching.
Go on.
Um
I
well,
just
it's
stepped
not really
out
a
to
rant.
look at my phone real
But
quick.
one thing I think teachers could do better. And honestly, if you don't do this, I don't really think you're that good of a teacher. Um, whenever a student says they don't understand something, don't just repeat the material. You kind of have to get to if someone doesn't understand the material that you've taught, like even if you repeat it yourself, you kind of need to step back for a moment and kind of understand the root issue. You got to take it step by step.
Mhm,
And I feel like a lot of teachers just repeat it,
mhm,
especially like math, and it's just another I guess type of subject that would fall into this category is like science. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what the hell the teacher's saying most of the time in science class,
mhm,
and I have to look up. This is basically every class. I never learn something in class. It's until either I fail a test and redo it, or I look at different forms of media that teaches me
mhm,
these things, like say like YouTube or Googling. That's when I actually learn something. I never learned something directly from a teacher.
mhm. I think one thing that teachers always say, but never actually act on is a lot of the times whenever you want to understand something, you have to understand why this makes or why this happens. And
Why is one
especially for
plus one
math,
two?
yeah, like well for the stall for a lot of things like that doesn't matter, but for a lot of the more complex things that might not make sense to a student, it's important to understand. For example, why does this make sense? Like for example, in
You
certain graphing equations and stuff like that. Why does this do this? Not
you
it does this
can't
and that's what it does,
you can't
but
just put two
why does that
puzzle
make sense?
pieces together without understanding why those pieces fit in the first place.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of teachers say that, but they don't actually understand what that means from my experience, I think.
Honestly,
Honestly, I've learned more from math YouTube videos in the past year than I've learned from actual teachers.
I'm gonna be real. I just feel like schools is kind of a scam.
I think AP is a scam, but schools are
Oh no, APs are definitely a scam. I'm just saying, like, the school environment is not a good place to learn stuff. For
mm,
like, okay, maybe like super
not
early
necessarily just like
education,
teachers.
because a lot of the concepts that they teach you in super early, like elementary school, is like simple enough to be able to, take step by step and have people understand. But once you get to kind of like that sixth grade ish level, you need way more time to like
Mhm,
really understand the material, and just generalizing it to 1,000 people in just in an hour isn't enough. I feel, and even then, I think 1 hour is too long in most cases. I think
yeah.
you just need like 20, you just need 20-30 minutes with like the student individually, and just kind
I
of
feel
like
like a lot of the times sorry, yeah, go on.
make them understand, which is probably why so many people take tutoring. So
Yeah. I think one thing about teaching is like, why do we have 1 hour? Like, I think we should separate this more into 30 minutes of explaining and understanding a lesson, and then give some time to actually like process that lesson instead of going over something for a long time through an hour and then realizing that like a lot of people probably lost focus during that entire hour and it doesn't actually matter.
God, I lose focus so many times in class. I
Mm,
I don't think I've ever had one moment in a class where I didn't zone out.
mm,
That's why I usually have music playing in my earbuds whenever I have a class on. It's because I simply cannot focus with just
mm,
silence and just this is this because of this, and if you put this in there, that's when you get
mm.
here. And it's just but
How did we get here? I feel like okay, whatever.
yeah. Anyway, YouTube advanced this you you do it. I don't know.
YouTube Advanced and YouTube blocking dislikes. YouTube Advanced, an application, or I guess a third-party application used for accessing YouTube. Which, by the way, has some mods that may or may not block ads and do other things. Is working with another group to create and work into its app an API to re-add the dislike button.
Yeah. Honestly, thanks YouTube. I'm gonna be
Thanks,
real.
YouTube. You're making people really like you're making people skip ads simply because
Like
they want to
the
see
YouTube
what videos are good or not.
I'm gonna be real. YouTube dislikes, like, I don't really care about major corporations and what their like to dislike ratio is because I'm just gonna
Mhm.
judge things for myself rather than what the ratio dislike is. But my issue with the dislike removal is the fact that I can't tell if a YouTube tutorial video is actually good or not. Sometimes YouTube
Yeah.
tutorials are my only options, especially for like the really obscure shit.
Mhm.
And because of that, I just look something up. I legitimately can't tell if it's like a reliable source or not.
Mhm. I think it just bothers me because YouTube didn't adjust the I or not the UI whatsoever. I guess the GUI, whatever, the UI whatsoever. Uh,
Also, if they were gonna remove dislikes or like the numbers, why don't they just remove the button altogether? It's just
I guess so it can still technically be a good thing for creators to look at.
it's a little confusing because if you're just gonna have likes be viewable, then
Mm.
it's like we should just have the upvote downvote system.
Turn YouTube into Reddit.
True. Pog. No, that's
Yo,
Twitch.
Pog. Yeah.
Pepe. Sorry, I don't know Reddit culture that well.
God. I just
Oh,
use Reddit to look at fan art because it's so much easier to get like accumulated fan art rather than scrolling through Twitter. Speaking of which, actually, no, never mind.
yeah,
Twitter's not
no, I
important.
don't know.
It's fine.
I
You're
don't
safe here.
I don't use Reddit too often unless like I've posted like one thing on Reddit and I already forgot what it was. Oh no,
Sometimes I'll go
it was
to
the real shit post.
mm. Sometimes I'll go to a specific subreddit to ask a question, but other than that,
Okay. Anyway, let's talk about some actual fucking tech news. Holy shit.
God.
We're finally
Okay,
here.
nothing happened this week. I'm sorry.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to the fact that there's a Linux VR headset.
Yeah.
So, okay, I need to refresh my memory here because I'm the one who suggested this.
Okay. While you're doing that, I'm gonna go on about something real quick.
Yeah, sure.
I want to daily drive Linux so badly. It's just there's so many things that still don't function. And one of those things being Oculus VR headsets don't function whatsoever. There's a third party driver being worked on. It's just not very good, for the lack of a better criticism.
Yeah. Like Linux, it seems cool, and especially if you don't do anything gamer related or even and even productivity. I
Mm,
feel like you don't really, have you're not gonna suffer using Linux. I feel like
yeah.
the general consumer, I don't know, if you just wanna watch YouTube videos or have like a lot of customization, yeah, no, Linux is definitely the way to go. But anyway, so there's this thing called the Simula VR headset or Linux headset. I'm not sure what it is, but basically, it's starting out as a distro. So it's a
Yeah.
Linux distro specifically made for VR. I'm pretty sure it's out right now for testing. So I don't know if you're interested
Interesting. I
in.
might take a look at that once I get another
Yeah,
SSD. I
I'm
don't have
not.
enough space right now.
I'm not sure if it works on regular headsets, but basically, this headset.
It might work with other headsets like the Index, but probably not for.
Yeah, the Simula Linux headset though, it just uses that specific distro. But
Mm,
the thing about this is that I believe it has a Snapdragon XR2, which
of
is
course
the
it does.
same
Yeah.
same thing with the Quest. That's pretty standard. I could be wrong though. I don't know. But basically, what it does, it runs on that Linux OS. And it's not necessarily made for gaming. It's more so the whole con. It's the whole concept of VR productivity that you hear so much. So it's basically intended for you to like, I don't know, bring to like a Starbucks and you just have that headset and like a mouse and maybe a virtual keyboard
Mm,
and just be able to like do shit.
mm.
Have you seen what it looks like?
I have not. If you want to send over a picture real quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what's a good picture for this. I will
What? If you do
say,
that, go on.
how do I describe how it looks? Uh it's kind of like hmm it's like some 80s vibes, if that makes any sense. 80s tech vibes.
Dude, I can't wait for the Virtual Boy Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Technically,
Yeah.
that probably wasn't the 80s, but that's beside the point.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's just called Simula VR headset. Images, come on. Okay, I found it. It has a very blocky retro look to it.
You know, considering your description, I might not hate that.
Yeah, hang on.
Give me a sec.
Here you go.
You know, I thought I was gonna open this up on my computer, but no, I imagine having sight issues. One moment, please.
Yeah, I don't know the necessarily the resolution. I think it's 100 degrees of FOV. I think it has a slightly higher resolution
It's
than the
even
Quest
orange.
2.
I want it.
Yeah, it's orange.
Dude, it's like the NES. The NES.
But I am very interested on how well it'll work with productivity stuff because
Mm.
I've tried Quest 2 and its productivity stuff. It's very impressive.
Yeah.
The
See,
fact have you I don't think you've tried the Quest 2 see-through keyboard thing, right?
I have not.
Yeah,
No.
basically, since hand tracking is a thing in Quest 2, you're able to, after pressing a few buttons on the keyboard, it basically kind of makes a fake virtual keyboard that's basically a visual representation of your actual keyboard. And you have your
Mm.
hand tracking tell you where it is. So instead of looking down, like taking off your headset to say, like, what buttons to press, you just look down and see your hand tracked hands go to the keyboard that you want.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Uh, okay. Now, my question is, or not my question, but the question I would like to answer here is why does this matter for Linux gaming in particular? And here's how this is going to work. The way Linux works is that people develop open source or sometimes closed fucking NVIDIA uh, drivers that are eventually directly integrated into the Linux kernel. Now, the important thing about this is that you can once one company or even just a group of people contributes to this kernel, this can be used to work with other to work with other drivers we currently have. So one good thing about having a primarily Linux focused VR experience is that there are going to be drivers and stuff developed specifically for Linux VR, and that'll improve things like tracking and the overall experience instead of emulating a Windows experience.
Yeah, and also it also benefits regular PC VR users because it gives them more options.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, of course, there's more options if you don't want to be tracked by Facebook and Microsoft at the exact same time, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. Speaking of which,
This
Quest
is
2.
this is the benefit to the open source nature of Linux.
So, Quest 2 VR with PC VR is like it's super weird when the wireless tracking or the wireless version of PC VR sometimes just works better than the wired.
Yeah.
It's
See,
so
that's
weird.
not my issue is as a PC VR user, it's so hard to find certain things that me and a Quest user can play together, like because sometimes it's just unclear whether it's like crossplay or not. And I think that's one thing that hasn't been talked about a lot as of recent is that Facebook is creating this unnecessary divide between wireless and wired headsets.
Yeah. Crossplay is definitely an option that I'm surprised isn't really there.
Mm.
Are there any crossplay games? I'm not
There are,
aware of
yes,
any.
but I'm
Yeah,
not. I can't name all of them off the top of my head.
if for a company that talks a lot of shit of like having as many people get into this as possible, they sure like having a lot of like a lot of borders for that. You know, they have a lot of
Yeah,
walls.
like okay. One thing I don't understand is there are certain applications that would function perfectly fine on desktop VR or on a Rift S, like on a Rift S right here. But for some reason, you can only download them exclusively on the Quest 2. And as a company who's talked about having an open environment for VR as the metaverse where everything just works, I don't think that's true.
Can we just talk about how sad the Rift S is?
It's just
I feel
it
bad.
barely got any firmware updates. It
I
just
feel so bad for Rift S users and
like
Quest 1 users even.
I still argue that the Rift S is still a much better experience, and I think you proved my point that on for PC VR than the Quest is. But
Yeah,
I
it's
just
just
don't get some things that Meta that like makes some decisions. Like why? Why are you trying to create this fragmented market that doesn't need to be there?
also doesn't make sense on how certain apps for Oculus don't aren't available on PC. It's but yeah, with the Rift S specifically, it's a good headset. Why did you discontinue it so quickly? There's
You could
still a
have added
sizable portion of your audience that still uses it.
yeah, there's still a sizable, and by sizable, I mean there's actually still a huge portion of the market that uses PC VR exclusively on older Rift models. And I don't, why did they discontinue it without actually giving it any like love or features? Because the Rift S can support a lot of things that the Quest 2 can. Or the
Honestly,
Quest can. It just doesn't.
I am shocked on how many updates the Quest has been getting. It
You know how many,
is
you know how many updates the Rift S got?
none.
I'd say maybe like two.
Yeah, no, I remember hearing like
Two
2, and
stability
then it
updates.
stopped. Yeah, no, like if you just want a no thrills headset, the Rift S is pretty alright. I believe it's $300, so it's the same price
It's
as the
just not.
Quest
I don't
2.
think it's being sold anymore. So
Yeah, but the Quest 2, they've added so many good updates. I'm
It's getting more and more tempting to let Facebook eat all my data.
like the fact that I get phone notifications on my Quest 2 every time I'm playing VR. Like
In all fairness,
it's
I technically do get phone notifications on my Rift S as well. It's just complicated.
yeah, it's
Not even
just
complicated. It's through Windows, but whatever.
having that, also having a wireless PC VR being an option that's free now, although I've had pretty bad experience with Airlink. And having it both be PC VR and portable. Mm, it's it's really nice. They've added
Such a good device. I just wish it didn't create this massive market segment that just shouldn't be there.
yeah. It
Like,
is
are you gonna tell me
nice.
there's any good reason why I can't play a golf game with my friends on a standalone headset?
Yeah,
Which,
no,
by the way, there is a game for that, but also there are certain golf games that you just can't play with your friends because
it kind of
I
sucks
don't
on
know.
how that is. Yeah, and it does. I mean, some games I do understand, like VR chat. I feel like the fact that it's a mobile chip and
It's gonna be hard to work with that. But like
VR
you guys are
chat's
talking
very
about voice
unoptimized.
in general, yeah.
Yeah, it's
But yeah,
unoptimized.
a lot of Unity games are just very unoptimized.
Yeah, we could go Rec Room, but why would you do that?
Yeah,
Apparently, Rec
like
Room is awfully popular, and that actually kind of surprised me because I never liked it.
I was about to say if you want to, we can go try for a bit later.
God,
But
but
yeah, I just have so many issues with certain games that like it's not clear whether or not I can play with my Quest 2 friends or not.
yeah, should have bought a Quest 2. I mean, if the Cambria is basically just a Quest 2, then
I might go with the Cambria, but I'm hoping it'll have better link support, maybe
I'd
not
say it's like
53%
500
support.
bucks. I'd say it's gonna be like 400 or 500.
500-600.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense.
I'd say upwards towards 600, but we'll see.
I really hope they don't use the USB-C thing because Jesus Christ.
If you're gonna use USB-C, don't use USB 5 or USB 5 gig.
Just use Thunderbolt.
I think even USB 10 gig would do fine.
I feel like they kind of made a mistake having it all through USB-C. Um, especially for something that has to push such high resolutions constantly.
The Quest 2 came out after USB 3.2 existed. I'm just saying there were so many options they had.
Yeah, and also they were talking about like how they put a lot of R&D just to figure out how to deal with compression through USB. And
No, you don't,
at
and you make the headset slightly more expensive and add a better USB port. You know, wouldn't that be crazy?
that or you just have a USB-C to DisplayPort.
My idea was you have okay, so on the Quest end, right? You have I'm stupid. Why didn't they just use the same port they used for the Rift S?
Yeah, no. Having that would be pretty nice. And maybe having that be USB Type C.
I'm gonna scream.
It's
It's
like
the solution is right there.
how do I describe it? The Quest 2 hardware wise is so close to being like actually based as hell. But there's some downsides like the face cover sucking, the head strap sucking, yeah,
Like, don't get me wrong. The Quest 2 is objectively the best VR headset you can get right now.
true.
But
Even
there are so
resolution
many
wise.
easy options you could have made. Come on.
God, especially when it comes to PC VR. I feel like but the fact that wireless VR works so well, I'm willing to give it a pass slightly with the cable issues. It's
Mhm,
just I'm a regular Beat Saber player and latency is kind of important for me.
mhm. I think latency bothers me a lot in VR actually, but one thing that's like what they could have done, but without using the Rift SS connector, because that is a little big and bulky.
Hmm.
Use one USB or USB-C 10 gig on the Quest 2 side, and then have that terminate out into USB and DisplayPort.
Yeah, that would be so good. And I would like
Easy solution.
and then having that be fiber optic cables.
I think you'd spend less on compression then, though.
Yeah, it's just yeah, I just hope PCVR would be better. In all fairness, we are using third-party cables, and we are not spending $70 on a cable. I'm sorry. I mean, it's fiber optics. It's just
I
like
don't even think USB 5 gig is capable of passing through that much data, but okay.
yeah, like the main benefit of fiber optic cables, like first of all, it's like really fast, but also it's very thin and
It's as
light.
fast as light.
It's very
Faster than
flexible.
sonic, anyways.
Fiber optic cables are very flexible and light, which for a
Yeah.
cable you kind of do need. It's just,
Mm.
although the fact that it makes it USB-C to C, damn, I would have really liked that. So I can use my
But
Thunderbolt
yeah,
port for something.
you know what else? You know what other cable would have worked just perfectly fine without fiber optics, or even just. Actually, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know the Rift S's cables. Like specifications.
Does Rift S have any accessories?
It probably. I think it has probably like face covers and stuff like that, but and
Hang
things
on.
like glasses, lenses. But
Rift S. Like, obviously you have things for controllers, but yeah, there's face covers. I feel like having a different strap would be nice.
I wish you could remove the strap. As far as I'm aware, it's not removable. In fact,
Yeah.
if I do like eventually have enough money to, in the next year, I will find a way to mod this Rift S so I can have a better strap.
Yeah, that or you just give that to
The Rift
Cameron
S
and then
is
buy
also
a new
useful
headset.
There we go.
Yeah, we're big
Project
brain.
Cambria, here I come. Either that or I spend however much.
How
he
good
wants
is the
to spend.
RX 570 for VR?
It'll do fine enough for a while.
Yeah, it'll
Like,
run VR chat.
It might have a little bit of like frame rate issues, but
He can
it
play
should be
Beat Saber.
okay.
He should be able to play Beat Saber.
Well, 'cause I bought my Rift S just before. Well, okay, maybe a couple months before I bought my RTX 3070. Right? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
When did I buy my 3070? Yeah, that checks out.
I really
Beginning of this year.
also Beat Saber's so much fun. I wish you could enjoy it because
Beat Saber, more like Base Saber. Got him.
Have you done the no arrow one? Because it seems like you do.
Now they're just smaller, and it really bothers me.
Are they?
They're slightly smaller than because they're more like blocks rather than more like. I don't know. I've tried on certain maps, but I'm getting slightly more used to it.
Okay. What difficulty do you play on? Like hard, I'm assuming?
I haven't played Beat Saber in a while, but yeah, generally
Okay.
hard.
Yeah,
Because Beat Saber's that game that I'm like, I own simply because it's integral to like it's the VR game,
yeah.
not because I want to play it.
I love Beat Saber so fucking much. Except
Reminds me,
when
I'm supposed to like Pavlov. I'll do that after the stream.
Might as well do it now since just have it download. It's
Yeah,
not
but
that
my
big.
download speeds go dummy. I'm pretty sure it'll.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to kidnap Aiden after this, anyways.
Yeah, Quest 2 VR. It's almost perfect. Like if they get rid of if it was more stable, it'd be the perfect headset for any situation. Or it's like it's already the best bang for the buck headset you could get right now. That is, you're also selling your data to Facebook.
It's not probably. It is. It's just objectively.
Yeah. I love my Quest 2 so much. Just make sure you get a lot of accessories for it. Expect to buy a lot of side stuff.
I think VR is one of those things that, like, yeah, the novelty kind of wears off after a while, but like, I'm just happy it's in my arsenal of things I can do, you know? Especially because once I have the only issue I've really had is that I don't have as many friends as I'd like to who have VR headsets.
Once I'm able to feel sensual in VR is when it'll peak.
He wants the Koikatsu party he wants the Koikatsu party like
bodysuit.
What is it I'm looking for? Haptics update.
Yeah, let's go. Corin.
You want the illusion bodysuit? You've seen that, right?
Yeah.
God, specifically made for whatever.
Yeah. Hang on. This man is struggling to find Guilty Gear Strive on Steam.
Strive. If you want to parsec him.
I can't find him. Did he disable it?
No, he did not. I was able to thing earlier.
Yeah, no, I don't have
I'm on the
access to
boot of
his
his
PC.
computer right now.
Do you see his PC?
Let me check real quick.
Because I don't.
PAR.
I'm assuming he just doesn't have it on. He was just looking.
No, I'm pretty sure he has it on.
I don't see it.
You might have to refriend him because for some reason whenever we moved to his house, I had to do the same.
Really? Oh no, I'm still friends with him.
Well, yeah, I know I have 2 Galaxy Stealths on my thing now, and they're both the exact same account. But
Really? Okay.
yeah, it's jank.
Oh. I see now.
What?
No, I saw the second Galaxy Stealth account.
Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, there are 2 there now, and I don't know why.
Okay, anywho. CES is dying?
Yeah, people are dropping out of CES like flies.
No, I actually never really was into CES until like last year. I'm gonna be real. And that's only because a lot of VR
the
stuff
novelty
happens.
is E3.
The main thing with CES for me is the fact like there's usually CPU announcements, but also a lot of most new VR tech comes from CES.
Yeah, like everyone shows off their stuff at the beginning of the year, and then we get it slowly out
God.
more and more.
Waiting for the Pimax 12K. Let's go.
But yeah, AMD's dropped out of their physical presentation. Nvidia's dropped out of their physical presentation. Intel has now dropped out of their physical presentation. Google's dropped out of their physical presentation.
CES is going the way of E3.
And honestly, that might just be the trend for every event now.
I guess we're just getting presentations now, which sucks because demos are.
Okay, well,
demos are so
are-
integral to promoting a
Yeah.
product.
we're gonna see from what I understand, we're still gonna see like YouTubers and stuff and influencers, whatever, that have access to that tech, and we'll do videos like covering CES. But I genuinely think that almost every event now is gonna go all digital, and it's gonna stay like that.
Damn, we live in the worst generation, huh?
You know what'd be even cooler though?
What?
If at some point when we get realistic enough with VR, if that's how every event was experienced, you can go to any tech
Yeah.
event, from
I-
the comfort of your
I
home.
do
and be able to feel
know-
like your laptops and stuff.
Yeah, I do know some presentations can be in VR. I remember like some artists having a concert in VR.
No, that's but I'm talking. I would love to go there, but I mean,
I know what you
specifically with,
mean.
like,
I know what you mean.
you have to feel the keyboard. You have to see. You have to see how this new phone camera is
You
slightly
know-
different than last year's.
There was one aspect of VR. Well, it's more so AR, but there's this thing in Star Trek. I'm already forgetting. Fuck, what was that one thing in Star Trek?
I don't know. I've never seen Star Trek.
There. Fuck. VR thingy. Star Trek. Oh, there's Star Trek VR game. I didn't know that.
Of course there is. Speaking of which, have you played any of the never mind.
But there's a room in Star Trek that basically creates any situation that you want as a simulation.
Dude, can I create my wedding?
And when you get in there,
When
They
you get in, I'm so sorry.
they form actual matter. Because they have like matter teleportation technology, so it's like having
Seems
stuff like
legit.
plants and normal shit. It's a lot simpler. So that's why they were able to create something like that. So
Did your
You
voice just crack? I'm gonna laugh at you right now.
hello.
Hello,
But-
my name is Scarlet Scarf.
I need to know the actual names so I can talk about it more because
A
room
hyperbolic room.
VR. Shit,
Look, okay, if you ever talk about a room, I'm just gonna assume it's the hyperbolic time chamber.
I need to look up the Wikipedia list because or
Yo,
episode list
time to look
because
at
that's
this wiki.
usually cut on it. Lonely Among Us.
Yo, Among US.
Let's see, maybe Haven.
Among Canada. Among UK. Among US. Anyways.
Federation, arrangement, marriage.
John 114.
But there was a specific room. Why am I? Okay, go on. On some random tangent while you're.
Uh, give me a moment. I accidentally hit a button. What do?
Holodeck. Fuck.
The holodeck?
Yeah. Star Trek holodeck is such a nice concept, at least for VR, because it's just a room that's basically real life.
If you die in the game, you die in real life.
Okay, would it be funny if I told you that's like most of the episode concepts relating to the holodeck? Because it's like, oh no, something goes wrong with the ship, so like the holodeck goes malfunction, and now all the safety features are off.
And now, yeah.
And one of the holodeck people, like figured out that he's actually living in a simulation and had an existential crisis.
Yeah, me too. Hey, people up there, can you guys like let me out now?
But yeah, no, that's what really drew me into Star Trek initially, because the holodeck for a VR person like myself, it's just like it's basically like how a lot of people see Ready Player
You know the
One
word
VR.
holo. Do you remember the Microsoft HoloLens demos?
I'm gonna be real. Nobody cares about HoloLens.
Yeah. But it was such a cool like concept at the time, because this was before VR got, or I guess XR got like huge. Also, my voice just cracked. That's beside the point. Got huge and like
All right.
went mainstream, and I was just like, okay, this looks super cool, and then no one ever did anything with it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we gotta help Cameron get Guilty Gear Strive, and we gotta invade Aiden very soon.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's many topics we really need to go through after this.
No, we're actually done.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I think in-person tech events and stuff like that are pretty much just dead.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're finally going to transition more to a digital phase where we get demos and different videos and presentations.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's all for today's show. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you again next Sunday, 6 p.m. PST. We actually have a schedule now.
Bye,
And
gamers.
yeah, we'll see you guys sometime soon.
Bye, gamers.
Bye.
I'm so sorry.
Goodbye. Bye, YouTube. Bye, Twitch. Bye, whatever platforms we're streaming on.
Falco.
Bye-bye.